Hello, it's Jen Bengal here from Out of This World Literacy. Have you ever wondered if a student was struggling with reading fluency, but you just didn't know for sure? It can be tough to see all the signs of a fluency struggle with so many kids in your class. Today's topic is awesome because I'm going to give you a cheat sheet to discovering if students are really struggling with oral reading fluency. Here are 10 things to watch for when they're reading out loud to see if they're struggling. If you notice these happening, then it's most likely due to an oral reading fluency struggle. Number 1, the student struggles to read words automatically. This means that they're not reading at a rate that's automatic to them. They're stopping, they're having to decode the word, whether they decode it out loud or they decode it in their head. It just is not an automatic response to the word. Number 2, the student gets hung up on a new word for too long. If you can count in your head as a teacher, 1, banana, 2, banana, 3, if they still haven't gotten that word after that 3 second, that means they're really struggling with that fluency mark there. Number 3, the student keeps reading on after reading an error that affects the meaning of the text or the syntax, which is like the semantics, the sentence structure. So if the student reads a word incorrectly that really drastically affects the meaning, like a tier 2 word, and they don't go back and check and fix it, that means that they're really struggling with fluency there. Or number 4, if they skim or read over helpful information. So say there's a really helpful part of the text, but they don't even recognize that that's a very helpful part and they just kind of skim over it or read it really quickly. That's a sign that they're struggling with fluency as well. Number 5, the student does not notice when oral reading stops making sense. So they continue reading even though the sentence almost kind of becomes a nonsense sentence. They just keep reading just to get through it. That's a sign of struggling with fluency. Number 6, the student forgets most of the important information in the text. So after reading, if you ask the student comprehension questions or ask them to just open-ended question, like tell me what you remember, and they can't tell you a lot of the things that were in the text, or they can't tell you it correctly, say they give incorrect information, that's a sign that the student has struggled with oral reading fluency there. Number 7, the student reads choppy with awkward pauses. So the student's not pausing at commas and stopping at periods, rather they're pausing at random places or stopping in weird spots or reading just really choppy. Number 8, the student reads in a flat, monotone voice. So if the student is reading the words like this in a flat, monotone voice, that means that they're struggling so much with fluency that they can't read for meaning. They can't read to show the way that the story is supposed to sound because they're focusing so much on decoding and fluency. Number 9, if the student reads all of the text at the same speed. So say they read the whole thing as fast as they can or very slowly. The speed just never changes. That's a sign that they're struggling with fluency. And number 10, if the student repeats words or phrases frequently. So if they're going back and rereading, even if that word was correct, they keep rereading over and over again. That means they're trying to pause their brain to give them time to process what the next word is actually saying. And that's a sign, again, of some oral reading fluency problems there. I hope this little cheat sheet of things to notice helps you with assessing the oral reading fluency needs and abilities of your students. If you're listening live, I'm hosting a brand new free live training on read alouds and on reading fluency. You can visit jenbengalwebinars.com to register for that live training. It's been my pleasure chatting with you today. Know that I'm the biggest fan of the work that you and your students are doing in the classroom every day. If you'd like more teaching tips, you can check out